with 7 names. Yes, 7. Like her parents give her 7 names. And all names, I believe, can be found on her passport. But I'm going to go with just one for purposes of today. And I'm going to go with Idrapa. It's with us here in studio. She's the brain behind the Trendy Rail. One of the fashion, let me say, I don't say fashion house, but in the trendy spaces that you can ever see when it comes to styling creatives. Also being in a creative space has explored so much. You're welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? Are you shy?
I am. I'm very camera shy. I'm used to being behind the scenes. So
yeah. How does it feel being like in front of the camera now?
It's weird.
It's weird.
Now I feel sorry for my clients because they have to do this full time. I don't. I can just hide.
Yeah.
They have to do this full time.
And style people and make them look good.
Yeah, so I can do that and just run away, you see. But sitting here, I'm so nervous.
Wow. How is it working with like an artist when it comes to fashion?
It's nice.
It's nice.
Mm-hmm. Because as a creative, it gets my brain going.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a really good artist who likes to explore, they don't box you up. You get to really explore and tap into your creativity. So, I mean, music and fashion go hand in hand anyway. So it's brilliant.
Wow. Now, how did you end up in this whole space to start with? Because, you know, there are people who say, oh, I went to school for it.
Yeah.
Somebody says, oh, I just picked a thread and a needle and I was able to piece it together and I came up with something beautiful.
Yeah.
There might be ridiculous stories like that. But how did you end up in this space? Is it something that was passion? Did you study about it?
Yeah.
Did it, is it like friends and then boom, it just happened for you?
Not really. To be honest, I think creativity is in our blood in our family. Every single member of the family is creative. So, but I'm quite rebellious. They didn't pursue it.
You're rebellious in a good way, I mean.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I pursued it. So uni and all of that, I'm not saying uni is not good, but I kind of put all of those behind me because I wanted to prove a point. I was a visual merchandiser, so that's basically what shop can I use in Ghana as an example? Woodine.
Yeah.
So if you go into Woodine and you see the way their intoma is arranged and all of that, yes, that's what we do on the shop floor. So we make the shop look visually nice for you to come.
Visually appealing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And then I knew that I wanted to work on people. I'm good with my fingers. So I can do hair. I'm very good with my fingers. So it kind of just happened. One day, one of my friends was doing she was a Miss Ghana and she had an event and she said, Nana, why don't you dress me? I did it. That was it. So I started doing a lot of shoots, and then I started having publications like, you know, Vogue, Snooker magazine. So I did a lot of publications, and that was it.
So when did Trendy Rail start? I nearly say Trendy Trail.
Trendy Trail. A lot of people say Trendy Trail. To be honest, the original name was not Trendy Rail, by the way.
Oh, tell us.
It was Essence of Nana Shamaya, which is my name.
Yeah.
But then I didn't see it as a brand. It's not a brand. You can build a brand around your name, but the longevity of it just didn't make sense.
I mean, when you are no more,
exactly,
then
you know, I want to be able to hand it over and say, you know what, I'm retired. You guys can get on with it. So I think one day I was in the shower. I prayed about it actually. One day I was in the shower and then Trendy Rail just kind of came in my head. A rail is. Have you been into a stylist's room before? Wardrobe room. You know, they always have the rail that your clothes are always hanging on.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh.
So the trends, which is outfits,
on a rail.
Oh. So Trendy Rail.
That's nice.
So that was the brand name.
I mean, you're a creative person, so I can understand. But can you tell me, how's the day in the life of Nana like? So let's say Nana Shemaya wakes up.
Yeah.
She's still working with like all the big acts she's working with. How is a day in your life like?
Day in a life, wake up, do my morning routine, which is I don't do anything without prayer. So I get my scriptures in, do my prayer, and then I look at emails. So the emails can either make or break my day.
Okay, tell us.
Because you can read an email and it's like you have I don't know, like an award, or your artist or
Yeah.
your client needs to be somewhere in 24 hours, and you need to make that happen because it's your job, and you need to forget whatever you planned before going to bed. Everything at that point
On the
goes,
side,
yes, you need
the
to
artist
make
comes
happen.
first.
Yes.
Wow. How is it like working with like all the acts you've worked with? Now, can you run us through them?
Yeah.
And how it's been like? I know Sark is going to be the last on the list because you guys are still working together.
Yeah, we still work together.
But then Wandiko, Burna Boy, Kitty. How is it like working with all these guys?
It's interesting because they all have different personalities. So with Wandiko, I worked with him on his song Somiso.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was the stylist for that.
Okay.
For him personally, it was great because again, you get to see the different personalities. Not all the artists don't have one personalities. They're all very different. So
In different circumstances, or even in the same.
In the same.
Like in a space of 5 minutes, they can.
No, as in like Kiddy's personality would be different from
Burna Boys.
Burna Boys.
Okay.
And so, and as a
understandable.
stylist, you need to be able to switch, and that's the difficult part. So one day was fine. He was cool. Burna was great because it was a big show, and I was a co-stylist for it. So
Okay. Which show was this?
in the UK, Apollo.
Okay.
So that was great. He barely wore clothes, to be honest. Everything we put on him, he threw it in the crowd.
How does that make you feel, by the way, when you style an artist and then he gets on there and then the first song, the shirt is off, float into the crowd?
Some of these clothes
Yeah.
are very expensive.
So can you tell me as expensive as much as what?
As much as it could be like, if it's custom made, you could look between anything between 8,000 to 10K. If
Dollars.
it's custom made. Yeah, but I'm pound.
Pounds. So
It could
8,000
be
to 10,000
literally,
pounds.
especially if it's custom made. It's expensive.
And they fly it into the crowd?
Yeah, but it's their daily life. It's not. They don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But as a stylist who is back end, where we've asked, I don't know, Louis V or to make you something custom made to measure, nothing, not even a string is hanging, and you throw it in the crowd. No. I get upset. I get upset, but
You get upset?
I do. And now I get clients that do it all the time.
Am I bringing
You're
some
giving me-
memories? Can you run us through one of them? You were backstage and you saw it and you were like,
Yeah, Sark. He had this red jacket. He did I think his Rapperholic either 2022 or 2023, I don't remember. He had this red outfit on. He took off the jacket and he threw it in the crowd. I kid you not, that jacket was probably like 4K or 3K, I don't remember.
Pounds.
Yeah, and he just threw it in the jacket. And what makes it worse is whoever caught the jacket saw me outside when the show was done. He said, "Oh, Trendy, I got the jacket."
Are you kidding me?
I can't take it back, So, but we've discussed it. So now we
You know
don't
what
throw
to do?
anything.
You don't throw anything?
No, we know what to throw and what not
not
to
to
throw.
throw.
And he's gone past that stage now
Yeah.
anyway, so he doesn't throw things in the crowd.
Wow. For us, the fans, we are super excited, like, oh my God.
Yeah, because you can resell that.
Yeah.
Because the majority of the time, these artists, whatever they're wearing on stage, is custom made. You can't find it on the streets. You can't just pop in a shop and say, I want what Kiddy wore, I want what Burna or David is custom.
Made.
They made it from scratch, or they've added a twist to it that you can't find in the shop. So if you throw that, they can resell it and make twice. Wow. Because it's a one-off piece.
What's the most difficult thing about working with acts, especially styling them? What's difficult in this whole life of a creative person?
I think the bit that I struggle, let me speak about me.
Yeah.
What I struggle with is they don't understand that different personalities, certain things look nicer on different. So a certain style, say bohemian style, or let's do hip hop as an example. For me, somebody who does R&B songs, a hip hop outfit doesn't go with your branding, but they struggle to see that. So the majority of the time, if you work with multiple artists or actors or whatever, they sometimes feel like, oh, you're making this person look nicer than me, but that's not the case. Their branding is not your branding.
So people need to understand that,
Whatever,
especially acts.
Whatever that person is wearing, your fans won't grasp onto it like that, because the majority of the time, you know what your brand is and you know who your target audience is. You know, maybe your target audience might like you in a bandana all the time. Therefore, you need to give them that. But then maybe my other client, a bandana on a lover boy, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But they don't understand. And
They
that's
don't
the
get it that
difficult
way.
part,
Wow.
trying to explain.
Wow.
It's
wow.
very, very
wow.
difficult.
That's very interesting to know. And I'm really loving it because, you know, for us, we see them looking very good. And it's like, oh, I love it. I love what he's wearing. But then, you know, the creativity that goes into it is very interesting. Now, can you run us through, let's zero in on Sark.
Okay.
Right? Rapperholic is coming.
PTSD.
Is that?
PTSD.
Really?
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm sure you love it, but you hate it when it's coming as well. It's like, especially when it's 1st December, they are like, oh my God.
No, it starts from October.
October, that's how far it starts from. Okay. Now, can you run us through, like, how do you put the pieces together for him to look? Because I don't think Sarkodie has ever looked off on stage when it comes to Rapperholic.
That's such a great compliment. Thank you.
There was a time he had this, it was like pieces that were cut.
Yeah.
It was like a sleeveless top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing looks so good on Sark.
Thank you. A lot of work goes into it. So for you to say that, I'm humbled.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But can you run us through it?
Well, me personally, I like to go off social media three months before Rapperholic. Not only because, okay, let me use this year. If we are going to do Rapperholic, I feel like we've done everything. We've done everything you can think of. So
you have to dig deeper into your creative juices.
Exactly. And with that, if I'm not careful, if I'm on socials and I follow other stylists, I get inspiration from
other
you know,
stylists.
other musicians and stylists. And if you're not careful, you might copy. And I like to be as original as possible. So with that in mind, I just log off social media to get my brain going, do a lot of research, even go as far back as looking at our timelines, what we've done, what we haven't done. And if you notice, last year Rapperholic, we did a lot of rhinestones, i.e., like diamonds. We've never done that before.
Yeah, this black.
We've never done that
with
before.
The whole,
Even that, it was a big argument. But he trusts my vision, because he knows what he wants. So with Rapperholic, a lot of work goes into it, especially if I have to do it virtual and I'm not flying in. So if I'm not flying in, I'm doing it virtual. There's a possibility that if he's lost too much weight, his clothes are not going to fit. If he's gained weight, his clothes are not going to fit. Is he going to like them when he sees it in person? So there's a lot. Because even me being on grounds, if I was to fly in and he sees the pieces, he can say, no, I don't like them.
And what do you have to do at that point in time?
You have to fix it. It's your job. So I personally like to do fitting 2 weeks before the show.
Okay.
Because then I have a week to sort out any emergencies. So at least 3 fittings goes into Rapperholic.
Now, when you look at the Ghanaian fashion or creative space, how do you feel about it?
You want to get me in trouble?
No, I'm not getting you in trouble. I just want to pick your thoughts on it because somebody who has styled Sarkodie for more than 5 years and he's still with you, it means that you're doing something good.
Thank you.
And Sarkodie is one of the, like, very well styled artists we have in Ghana. So if you've been doing it for 5 years, it means you're doing something right.
Thank you.
Now, it means there is something that the creative space or the fashion space in Ghana can actually pick from you because you've also observed a lot.
Yeah.
So what would be your observation of the creative or the fashion space, especially when it comes to...
I think they all need to invest in a stylist. Not just any stylist, a good stylist. A stylist that puts the client's need first before themselves. I've seen shows where the stylist looks better than the client. I mean, if anybody that knows me, every time they see me, I'm on my knees in tracksuits. It's very, very important. And stylists, they don't just put clothes on you. There's a lot of detailing that goes into it, you know? Certain haircuts you shouldn't do. You know, your nail polish, your shoes, the colors you should wear.
I was shocked when you mentioned that.
Yeah, nail polish. I mean, I see a lot of people on red carpet and I see their nail polish and And I really think about it. Why do you have that outfit on and your nail polish looks like that?
Wow.
They don't pay attention to those things.
Wow.
There's a lot of work that goes into it. But, I mean, Sarko's taking it serious, and you see where he is, and you see visually, anywhere. He could be wearing just shorts and a T-shirt, but it's personal.
Yeah. I remember there was an event at Labadri Beach.
Yeah.
I think there was a football game, a Champions League final or something like that. He was supposed to make a representation. And then I'm like, Basak, you have a share ball keke.
With me, I know.
Charlie, with his kicks and then and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, personally. It's in him. Ever since I met him, from day one I started working with him till now, nothing has changed about his branding, nothing. And I think a lot of Ghanaians need that. You don't compromise on your branding. Just don't compromise on your branding.
Beautiful. Now you have an event coming up. We just want to know what inspired you to actually put something together, especially in Ghana, because I mean, deep pounds. Ghana.
So I think I have a niece,
Yeah.
and aside that, I have baby cousins, and they see me as their superhero, and I love that. I want them to grow up one day to feel like anything is possible. They just need to be resilient. So my DMs is full of very young visionaries. Say, you know, how do I get into this? You've been doing it for so long. What do I do? I mean, I can't reply everybody because at that point, I'm just like, what can I do? You know? The event is mainly, this is just an intro, but it's just to set the tone. Eventually, I would want people to get internships from it. Big companies that want internships from young visionaries, they can come through us to give them that. Because as a creative anyway, you do learn by being an intern.
Okay.
Me as a stylist, I was an intern for 2 people before I said, no, I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important. And it's also important to hear that it's not on a plate that we're all just picking from. We're all working. You'll be surprised some of the DMs that I'm in, you know, and someone would think you shouldn't have to do that. No, but I have to keep the memento going, to keep my relevance, you know. So the event is just to give them the drive that they need. So that's literally all it is. And the people we have on the panel, I've got one person from the UK, so it's good to have the different diaspora overview to the, you know, cultural overview, and we merge those two together. Everyone is in the industry, so they understand the pros and cons, and everybody struggled to be where they are. So it would be very good to see how all of us in one room, it's going to be a powerful room.
I'm looking forward to that
You
room,
should
actually.
come.
Yeah, I'll be
Please.
there. I'll be there.
Oh.
16th April.
Yes, please.
Eden Accra.
Yes.
I will be there.
Yes.
I will be there. But where is Eden Accra located, by the way?
Osu.
Osu.
Oh, it's
okay.
beautiful. I did a venue tour yesterday. Yeah.
You're ready.
Stunning. I'm ready.
Super, super ready.
My first show.
Sit with Trendy Rail and friends,
Oh, look,
shaping
I'm on the
tomorrow's
screen.
creators. By the way, let's talk about the whole Rapperholic exhibition that you guys did. That was like out of mind, out of world
Did you come?
experience. Yeah, I passed through one of the days.
Really?
I was just like, oh,
Did you see me?
Probably
I lived there. I was there 24/7.
Yeah. But I loved the way you were able to put the pieces together and everything.
Thank you.
As of now, the final question before we go, how many clothes does Sarkodie have from you?
We can't count.
200?
No, more than that. He's got, look, you know, even like Air Forces, right?
Yeah.
He's got to tell me off for saying this, but I'm going to say it. His Air Forces, if he wears them once and he doesn't repeat Air Forces. So he has like, I think he has a room just full of trainers. So that kind of set the tone for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Air Forces, we don't repeat it. If he wears it, maybe twice max, and then it has to go.
Sak, I don't know your shoe size, but I wear 45. So, you know, you can throw one Air Force my way. I'll be glad to receive it. But yeah, 16th of April.
Yes.
Eating space
Come
in
and meet
Accra,
me.
Osu. Sit with Trendy Rail and friends, shaping tomorrow's creators. I'll say I'm super proud of you. How much are the tickets going for?
It's free. It's a free event. a young visionaire would not be able to afford. You see how intentional we are. I know that the young visionaries don't have that kind of money. They barely have money to buy data.
Yeah.
How can I do an event and ask them to pay and come? It defeats the purpose of what I'm doing. So it's free.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Trendy Real. Nana.
Oh, no,
I'm not doing that. I was actually putting you on the spot and actually got you right there. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
passing
having me.
through.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you so much and
Thank
making
you
our
for having
legend
me.
look good every single time.
Thank you for having
We are
me.
super happy. But who's that creative person or that artist that you're looking to work with?
Trendy.
Wow.
I don't want to work with him. I just want to put him on my CV. Even if he says hello to me, I'm okay.
Trendy?
Yeah. I just want him to say, hello, Trendy Road. That's it. That would be the biggest and the best birthday present ever.